things, and they need to get after Blake Bortles. Our countdown to kickoff continues here in London as the Indianapolis Colts and Jacksonville Jaguars get set to play in the first of 3 games in the United Kingdom this year. Time for the national anthems of both nations. Down to the public address announcer, Alan Roach.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remove your hats for the U.S. national anthem, performed today by the internationally acclaimed opera singer Noah Stewart.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now, please welcome, to sing God Save the Queen, world-renowned mezzo-soprano Laura Wright.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Center victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to London, where the temperature is a beautiful 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Skies are clear for the moment. I want to remind you, this game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Jacksonville Jaguars have won the toss and they have deferred, which means the Indianapolis Colts and Andrew Luck will get their hands on the football first. Quan Bray and Jordan Todman are deep for the Colts.
And Greg, I understand why a lot of people like kicking the ball first, because they can get the ball at the end of the half and then get it coming out in the second half. But as a quarterback, I'd rather get out on the field first.
That's what Andrew Luck will get to do, and here we go. Quan Bray will down it in the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. On the sidelines with us today, as always, Jamie Erdahl. Jamie.
Greg, thank you. Tough news for both quarterbacks today. Blake Bortles is without tight end Julius Thomas. He's dealing with an elbow injury. Did work out this morning, but just not good enough to go. For Andrew Luck, watch the right side of his line today. He will be with all rookies at the center, right guard, and right tackle position because his normal starters, Denzel Good and Joe Wrights, both out with back injuries.
Jamie, thank you.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, hey,
open my
Frank Gore, the deep back.
70. What's that?
On first down, it is Gore, and Gore out to about the 28-yard line, a gain of 3. Andrew Luck trying to spark these Colts after an 0-2 start, a dramatic late-game touchdown pass to beat San Diego last week. His first priority, Trent, he told us he has to stop giving away points.
Well, and that was the one thing, it's interesting when you talk to a quarterback and the first thing he wants to talk about is the mistakes that he made, and that just tells you the leadership that Andrew Luck has and the respect that his teammates have for him.
170. What's that?
Empty backfield on second down. A little pump fake to the near side now, and Gore spun down at about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line by Jalen Ramsey. Injuries on the offensive line, as Jamie noted, has pushed a bunch of youngsters into action. One who's been there from the start, #1 draft pick, the center Ryan Kelly. And Luck's primary target is wide receiver T.Y. Hilton, who caught that game-winning TD pass last week against the Chargers. 3rd and 2.
Hey, rock! Yeah.
Josh Ferguson is in the backfield with Luck.
And you can see the way the Jaguars are stacking the box.
Out here to the near side and off the fingertips of Ferguson, and that's a 4th down, and that'll bring out the punting unit.
Well, nobody wants to drop a football, but that's a crucial 3rd down there when you have an opportunity, your opening drive of the game. Go ahead and get that catch. You're out in the flat. You had a rub route where you're free out in the flat here. Just bring it in. You literally can fall for the 1st down. That's one he's going to want back.
Pat McAfee gets it away, and this is Rashad Green from his own 18. And out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. 13:30 to play, and here comes Blake Bortles. Had an outstanding 2015 season. He threw 35 touchdown passes, 5 TDs so far in 2016, but also 6 interceptions.
Well, and it's important for Jacksonville to get off to a good start here offensively. They've fallen behind in too many football games. It's important to get going here early.
TJ Yeldon is behind Bortles on first down. And Yeldon will get about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. On the offensive line, the Jaguars get left tackle Kelvin Beachum back. A concussion 2 weeks ago at San Diego. He's cleared to return today. And Bortles has gifted wide receivers, including Allen Robinson, who led the NFL a season ago with 14 touchdown receptions. He has 2 so far this year. This time Bortles from the shotgun on 2nd and 6. Little pump, throws to the outside, incomplete. Pass intended for Mercedes Lewis, the tight end. On the Colts 3-4 defense, the veteran up front is Kendall Langford in his 9th year out of Hampton Institute. The defense has 4 sacks on the season. Outside linebacker Eric Walden from Middle Tennessee State has 3 of them. And Chuck Pagano stresses his defense is getting healthy, and that includes cornerback Patrick Robinson, who missed the last 2 weeks with concussion symptoms. 3rd and 6. They pick up the blitz. Bortles stepping forward and now going to run, and he's not going to get to first down yardage.
Well, 3rd down has been a struggle all year for Jacksonville. They're 31st in the National Football League coming into this game, and a lot of it is due to the length that they have it on 3rd down. They need to have more success on 1st and 2nd down here. Bortles nowhere to go with the football, just trying to make something happen. Can't reach the sticks.
TJ Green, the rookie, making the stop, and Quan Bray is deep for the Colts. And we get a whistle and a delay of game. No, excuse me.
False start,
Offside.
number 25, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Patrick C. Peyton Thompson was the guilty party offside. High kick. Fair catch called for. And Bray makes the grab. Andrew Luck going to try to get things started offensively again. We are live in London and we're scoreless here in the first. Back at spacious Wembley Stadium, 11:50 to play here in the first quarter. And Luck begins from his own 25-yard line.
380!
The give is to Gore. Gore bouncing and lost yardage, and a penalty marker flies, and now a second.
Yeah, that'll be a face mask, Greg, and you can see three flags flying from all different directions as Gore was trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, face mask, number 93, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, 1st down.
Tyson Alualu is the guilty party.
See that right hand just reach out and grab a hold of it. Pretty obvious call for the officials.
Walt Anderson is our referee today. So first down now from the 40-yard line for Indianapolis.
Hey, single. 170! What's that?
Hilton in motion, but the give is to Gore, and Gore will get a couple. Take a look at the Jacksonville defense. Up front, Jared Odrick is out with a triceps injury today, and Tyson Alualu, he of the face mask penalty, takes his place up front. We'll get to see the promising rookie linebacker Miles Jack, the 2nd-round pick out of UCLA, who starts for injured Dan Skuta, and talk about highly touted #1 pick Jalen Ramsey out of Florida State. He will shadow T.Y. Hilton all day long.
Walk. Behind it! Cut! Watch 51. 190! Cut!
On 2nd and 8, Luck looks right, now goes over the middle, and wide open over the middle is Dwayne Allen. Incomplete.
Well, that's 2 drops on the day already now for the Colts. First, Josh Ferguson on 3rd down. Drop in the flat. This time, Dwayne Allen in the middle of the field. You're going to see there's no one around him as Luck works through his progression. Allen just turning his head too quickly to try and get upfield before he secures the catch.
So now it's 3rd and 8. Luck at it, batted back and picked off in midair. Intercepted by the Jaguars. Number 91 is Yannick Ngakoue, the rookie 3rd-round pick out of Maryland.
Well, it's Dante Fowler who comes in. You'll see Fowler working over here from the right side of the line. They're going to be, this is where the pressure comes from. You just see the twist on that side of the field, and Fowler gets that right hand up and is able to tip it up into the air.
So here is Jacksonville with the early opportunity at the Colt 24-yard line.
1 minute! Green and shot!
Bortle pulls it down again. And did he just lose the handle, or was it batted down?
No, that was batted down, Greg. He went through a progression. He looked over to his left, and he got locked in on. The Colts covered it, and then he tried sliding to his right, getting to his check down, and just by that time the pocket had collapsed. He wasn't able to get it over the line, and that one got batted down as well. He was a little more fortunate than Luck was as far as where that ball was batted to.
Kendall Langford got the block. Andrew Luck looking like he's rallying the troops on the sideline. 2nd and 10. This is Yeldon. Yeldon with a big hole up the middle. And bulls his way for looks to be close to a 1st down inside the 15-yard line.
This play is going right up the middle. You're going to see the hole that's created on the trap, the kick-out block. Excellent job by Jacksonville. Aurelius Ben getting the block on the counter play.
On first down, this is Yeldon trying the left side, trying to turn the corner, and gets a couple as he approaches the 10-yard line. This Jacksonville offense has just one rushing touchdown this season, and Yeldon has it.
Holding number 89 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And that's going to back the Jaguars up. Mercedes Lewis guilty of the hold. You know, Gus Bradley is one of the more enthusiastic coaches that we run into, and he's just so fired up, and you wonder what something like this early on is, how it's going to affect him.
Well, he was, and he bounced into the meeting yesterday, and you know, you thought you'd see a different reaction because every time we've met with him, he has been very enthusiastic, but very little sleep. The fact they're meeting with him was so early, and he is frustrated with how things have gone, but he's maintained that positive attitude throughout.
Jacksonville takes a timeout here with 9:22 to play in the first quarter. Let's talk about the keys to the game in your eyes today, Trent.
Well, there's several things here. First, for Indianapolis, limit the hits on Luck. We talked about the entire right side of the offensive line is rookies, so he's going to be under some pressure, or potentially under some pressure today. And then, as you can see, pressure on Bortles is important. Jacksonville's given up 9 sacks on the season, so even though the Colts only have 4 on the season, it's important they get pressure on Bortles. Then for Jacksonville, better balance on offense. Everyone talked to us about getting the run game going, and then the young linebackers. You talked about Miles Jack getting a start. You've got Tevin Smith in there, a young player as well, and Yannick as well. They're 3 young linebackers.
Bortles on the run. He is terrific when he's on the move out of the pocket, and he's run out of bounds short of the 15-yard line. Antonio Morrison ran him out of bounds. But Bortles, as you pointed out, Trent, is good when he's on the move.
He's a very mobile quarterback. He's one, you look at his size, nearly 6'5", 240 pounds. He's not afraid to take off and run, and using that vision and his accuracy outside the pocket is the best in the National Football League.
2nd and 14. Yeldon again. Yeldon breaks it to the outside, shakes a tackle inside the 10, inside the 5 before he's thrown out of bounds. First and goal at the 4. Let's see his possession of the ball. Lost the football at about, see, it bounced out at the 1-yard line.
Had that ball gone into the end zone and out the side of the end zone, that would have been a touchback in Indianapolis's ball. The fact is you can't gain yardage on a fumble, so where the fumble occurred was back at the 3-yard line. So instead of the ball being inside the 1 where the ball went out of bounds, because the offense maintained possession, it goes back to where the fumble was, where the fumble occurred, so back at the 3.
And Walt Anderson having a quick discussion with Laird Hayes, the side judge. And they're going to reset the play clock. Chris Ivory has come into the game in the backfield for Jacksonville. 1st and goal from the 3. Fake to Ivory on the slant, wide open, touchdown to Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson one-on-one against Cromartie on the outside. Gives him a little bit of a double move. Works his way to the outside like he's going to run a fade. Just crosses Cromartie's face. Nobody to the inside for help.
3rd touchdown catch of the season for Robinson.
Watch how he gets the outside release. Looks like it's going to be a fade. Crosses his face. Bortles on the money with the throw.
The extra point try by Jason Myers is good, and with 8:23 to play in the first quarter, Jacksonville in the lead, 7-0. Jacksonville with the lead. That's rare air for the Jaguars. They have spent a total of 12 minutes so far this season with the lead. 12:04 to be exact. Quan Bray, Jordan Todman deep for Indianapolis.
Well, once again, it was points off of turnovers. Andrew Luck talked to us about that from the Colts standpoint, and that put the Jags in field position.
This is Bray, and Bray out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line or so. Brought down by Arthur Brown. I want to remind you, with NFL Game Pass, watch the games you missed with condensed games in 45 minutes or the full broadcast versions. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. So Andrew Luck is probably thinking, Trent, if I could have some guys hold on to the ball here and there, we might be able to do something.
Well, yeah, that was unfortunate, that last tip pass, but you're right. He has had 2 balls that were dropped. Both of them would have been first downs.
Gore in the backfield. They fake it to him. Luck stepping up and then out to the side. This is Jack Doyle. We have a penalty marker downfield as he's forced out just short of the 40-yard line.
It's going to be holding on Jalen Ramsey, I believe, over in that far sideline for us. Matched up on T.Y. Hilton.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Holding number 31 of the defense prior to the pass. That penalty is declined. Illegal contact number 20 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Let's take a look at both of them.
Well, this is going to be the illegal bump. T.Y. Hilton on Jalen Ramsey. See the little double move, the stutter. And then here's House on the far side. A lot of hand contact there called with the hold.
So it's the second first down of the day by Indy as a result of a penalty. We talked to Jalen Ramsey. It's fair to say a confident young man.
Well, he has reason to be. He's had a productive start to the season and looks to be matched up today quite a bit.
First and 10.
Matched up quite a bit on T.Y. Hilton.
And when we asked him if he was going to be on T.Y. all day, he kind of looked around. Can I say that?
Sure, can I tell these guys this? Do I know this?
This is Gore. Gore across the 45 to the 48-yard line. Paul Posluszny, middle linebacker, making the stop.
I have noticed, Greg, already, though, that Ramsey has stayed to the outside, whether he's working the right side of the field or the left side of the field. Yes, he's been able to follow T.Y. Hilton around, but when T.Y. is lined up in the slot, most of the time he'll stay to the outside. That time he was matched up on the rookie Chester Rogers. He's also been on the outside matched up on Frank Gore. So far in this game, he hasn't been, here he is at the bottom of the screen on T.Y. again.
Gore once again, and Gore has a first down as he crosses midfield and gets to about the 48-yard line. Frank Gore moving up the charts, an all-time rushing yardage. And he is now 1 yard shy of number 12 all-time, trailing Marcus Allen. He's within range of Edgerrin James and Marshall Faulk and Jim Brown.
It's impressive when you think what Gore's done throughout his career. 8 of the last 10 seasons, over 1,000 yards. Just a very consistent back.
Luck. Gonna run it. And dives forward to about the 42-yard line.
That's a little bit different Andrew Luck than what I'm used to seeing. You can tell he's being smarter with his body here. After the play fake, stepping up in the pocket, sees there's nothing up the field. That's very rare to see him go down. He normally in previous seasons he'd try and lower his shoulder and pick up some extra yards. He's getting a little bit wiser trying to protect himself.
A lot of defenders have told us he's like an extra running back.
He is. He's a big physical guy, and it's good to see that he's realizing he's got to stay healthy for this Colts team.
2nd and 4. Near side, that is complete to Gore and incomplete. So Colts having problems holding on to the football, and if Andrew Luck can make all the throws, it's not going to do him any good if the Colts can't make the catches.
Well, yeah, that's the third one they haven't been able to bring in. And then we talked earlier about the defensive recognition. Because of his mind, he notices what defense do, but that last one, he must protect himself. He was smart on that last run that he had up the middle, going down before taking too big of a hit.
Meanwhile, Luck's line looking awful today. 1 out of 5 for 4 yards and 1 interception. 3rd and 4. That one is complete, and that's enough for a first down to the 37 to T.Y. Hilton.
And some people may think that's an inaccurate throw because you're making the receiver go down. That's actually the smart place to put that football. When you have 2 defenders squeezing a receiver and you want to protect your receiver from taking a big hit or getting the ball in there and then having the defender knock it out, put it low, put it where he can catch it on his body and keep it away from that from happening, and that was able to secure the catch and get the first down.
Can't stress enough that he is behind an offensive line that has 3 rookies up front.
120!
Luck with all kinds of time, and inside that's complete to Hilton. And Hilton buried it about the 32.
See Hilton lined up on Ramsey again, works to the outside, and then just the short, shallow cross on the inside. He's smart here to go down. He sees Jones coming in to put a big hit on him, and we talked about Andrew protecting himself. That time T.Y. realizing he was giving up about 150-pound edge to go down. That was smart.
On 2nd and 6, Josh Ferguson is back alongside Andrew Luck in the backfield. And here's a reverse, double reverse. Dorsett. And Dorsett spins down inside the 30 at about the 29-yard line. Philip Dorsett turned an ankle at practice on Friday. Was put on the injury report, but he's starting lineup today. This is a team that lost Dante Moncrief for 4 to 6 weeks with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, when we saw that happen, we were a little concerned with how many bodies they were going to have out there. Excellent job by Jalen Ramsey to stay home on the backside and not be fooled in making that tackle.
So 3rd and 3. Luck on the move, pulls it down, has the first down and slides down at the 25-yard line. Andrew Luck getting it done with his legs.
See, he wants to throw out to the right side where he has T.Y. Hilton and he has Dorsett over on the right sideline. Once again, taking care of himself after he picks up the first down. He gets down, avoiding the big hit.
You know, I asked Andrew if he gives any thought to all of that youth up front and inexperience, and you can't.
You can't. You get caught up in worrying about it too much. You have to worry about your job and getting the ball out of your hands.
Luck under pressure, and he goes down to the 35. As soon as we talk about it, boy, the Jaguars got after it.
Pressure is going to come. You're going to see Posluszny. He's going to work his way right in the middle. They also come off the edge. You get stuck. Costanzo is on the outside trying to figure out. He and Johnson are on the outside trying to figure out. They messed up the combination. There was 2 of them there to block 2, and just with that confusion and protection, it allowed Posluszny to get free.
So now it's a 2nd and 20 as Luck spreads the field. Low pass, it bounced incomplete. Hilton could not grab it before it hit the turf, so it'll be 3rd and 20.
Well, Greg, I talked earlier about sometimes it's good to throw the ball low to protect the receiver. That time it clearly wasn't good. That was 2nd and long. You don't need to put it on his body there. That was just the pressure of the pocket back in Luck's face made for an inaccurate throw.
Blake Bortles anticipating returning to the field shortly. So let's see what Andrew Luck comes up with on 3rd and 20. Short one over the middle and through the arms of Chester Rogers.
Well, you weren't trying to get the first down there. You're trying to just get some yardage so you can make this a more makeable field goal. But I don't know if Adam Vinatieri needs any extra yardage the way he's been kicking now in his 21st season in the National Football League.
He has hit 31 consecutive field goals. 6 straight from 50 or more. And this is a 53-yarder. Put another one on the belt. 1:50 to play in the first quarter. Vinatieri converts the 53-yarder, 7-3 Jacksonville, and we're back to London after this.
England, so they've been in position to be better than that, but I think there were such high expectations for the Cardinals coming in, you'd have to think he is frustrated.
Corey Grant from about the 1.5-yard line. And an opening. And just across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And when we come back, 1:45 left in the first quarter, and Blake Bortles back to work on offense. Bunches of football fans gathered on Regent Street yesterday in London's West End as we welcome you back. Bortles with the give to Chris Ivory. Ivory trying to turn the corner, tripped up, and goes down at about the 33-yard line by DeQuell Jackson.
Well, it's been a problem for Jacksonville all season long with their running game. Coming into this game, Chris Ivory had 12 carries for 14 yards, only 1.2 yards per carry. They've only got 55 yards a game on the ground rushing, and Bortles talked to us about having some balance in this offense and setting up better third downs for him from a yardage standpoint.
On 2nd and 9, and give it to Ivory again, and Ivory doesn't find any running room as we get a penalty flag. Eric Walden making the stop.
Holding, number 87, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's tight end Neil Sterling.
Well, and just to continue my thoughts with Bortles, he also looked at us after telling us that, hey, I need more balance. We need to run the ball more. He said, now don't get me wrong, I'd like to throw every single down. He goes, I'm not crazy. I'd like to throw as much as possible. But he understands for this offense, for the best success, they need to have that balance. And you can see as they continue trying to run the football, not having much success.
Which is why they don't let quarterbacks call their own signals
That's
anymore.
right. That's right.
Jacksonville with 41 total yards and 45 penalty yards. Bortles had it knocked down and almost intercepted at the line of scrimmage or behind the line. Hassan Ridgeway, the 4th-round draft pick out of Texas.
Well, and that's why as a quarterback, you're going to see Bortles here with his eyes out to the right. He comes back to throw the screen to the left, and Ridgeway is right there to jump up and knock it down. Fortunate for Bortles and the Jaguars, that wasn't intercepted.
Bortles just 1 out of 4 throwing, but that's a 3-yard touchdown pass. And he's looking at a 3rd and 19. With time, little pop over the middle to Yeldon. Yeldon to the near side and is out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. That'll be well short of a first down. You know, Trent, this is a Jacksonville team that much has been expected of this year. There were even prognostications of Jacksonville winning the AFC South.
Well, and that's the thing. When you look at the age of this team and you think that, are they ready to make that next step? Allen Robinson and Alan Hearns and Blake Bortles, these guys are all 3-year guys. You look at their line, they're all in that 2 to 7 year range. This is a team that's really set up to be winning now, and that's why I think the frustration of Jaguar fans not getting those wins.
On Bray, no fair catch, spins away from a couple of tacklers and runs out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So we'll take a break. We are 3 seconds shy of the end of the first quarter. 7-3 Jacksonville. This is the 10th season the NFL has seen action here in London. First game at Wembley Stadium back in 2007. Giants beat the Miami Dolphins.
Who was it that put that up there? I was on that Miami Dolphins team. That's we weren't supposed to show that one up there.
As the first quarter expires, Frank Gore to about the 30-yard line. So we've come to the end of one here in London. They'll change ends. We'll take a break. 7-3 Jags. Welcome back to the start of the second quarter. Jacksonville leading the Colts by a 7-3 score. And Frank Gore lifting himself up the charts with that run out to about the 35-yard line. It'll be just short of a first down. But Frank Gore has now passed Marcus Allen for 12th place all time. And he's now passed Edgerrin James for 11th place.
Well, if you look at all the names on that list, it's impressive, and he's going to continue to pass names just today. He'll pass a couple more Hall of Famers ahead of him.
Marshall Faulk in his sights. Jim Brown is a possibility. Gore again, looking for the first down, and he appears to have it as he nudges the ball across the 35 to the 36-yard line. What did the Jaguars say defensively? The problem with Gore is he seems to get stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, Paul Posluszny was telling us the number one thing they want to do is stop the run. And we said, well, even with Andrew Luck in the passing game, he says you want to make a team one-dimensional. And if we can limit Gore in the run game, then we can force it and really get pressure on Andrew Luck if we can make this a one-dimensional game. So far, they haven't had a lot of success stopping Frank Gore. You can see the balance there, 10 rush, 10 pass.
Luck with time. Can't find anyone deep. Throws it short to Robert Turbin out of the backfield. And well covered by Jacksonville. At least they held on to that one.
Yeah, they've had a rough day so far. Andrew Luck 4 of 10, but 3 of those 6 incompletions are drops. 2 of them by rookies, Josh Ferguson, and that last one by Chester Rogers. Trying to get some continuity going offensively, get into a kind of rhythm. You got to be able to hang on to those footballs.
So Robert Turbin is in the backfield on 2nd and 8, and Luck will fake to him. Screen to the near side. And this is Dwayne Allen. Allen, the big tight end across midfield and into Jacksonville territory. At about the 49-yard line for a first down.
Well, the Colts have tried on several occasions to hit the play action and push the ball up the field with a big throw, understanding that Jacksonville is dropping deep and not allowing that to happen, calling the screen that time and getting out in front for the first down.
So the Colts in Jacksonville territory from the 49, a first down. Josh Ferguson. Very little yardage, maybe 1. Roy Miller and Senderick Marks making the stop.
Well, we already touched on it earlier in this game. We have to remember that right side of the line. Starting center Ryan Kelly, a rookie first rounder out of Alabama. Filling in at guard for Denzel Good is Austin Blythe, a 7th-round pick out of Iowa. And for Joe Wrights is Joe Haig, a 5th rounder of North Dakota State. So 3 rookies off, 3 rookie offensive linemen.
Luck under pressure and going down again. Actually stood up. Yannick Ngakoue. Ngakoue with his 3rd sack of the season. He's the 3rd-round draft pick out of Maryland.
You're going to see it just coming off the edge. He's just working around the outside. Going one-on-one against Anthony Costanzo. You see him dip that arm and get underneath. Andrew Luck had no chance to get rid of the ball. The quick whistle prevents Luck from getting slammed to the ground.
You know, we keep looking at that inexperience on the right side, but as you mentioned, he's had a lot of the problems coming from the left side.
Yeah, the pass protection, the miscommunication on that left side from an earlier hit he took.
Luck going to pull it down, now toss it, incomplete. Penalty marker flies. It's intended for Chester Rogers, covered by Devon House.
Well, Devon House had way too much contact with Chester Rogers.
Pass interference, number 31, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
The officials will let you get away with a little bit of incidental contact, but, well, that was a grab of the face mask. Now you're grabbing the entire left arm. Easy call for the officials.
So Gore back in the lineup. The Colts now to the Jacksonville 35.
Look out. 180.
Gore picks his spot inside the 30 to about the 28, 27-yard line. Telvin Smith with the tackle.
Knowing as much as anything, this is just wearing down that Jacksonville defense. The Colts have been able to control time of possession, running the football, getting some conversions. We mentioned the drop passes earlier in the game, but with this balance and time of possession, it really starts wearing down that front of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Set out. Ready. Run. 120.
On 2nd and 3, deep drop. Luck with time and flips it out to the near side, and it is complete to Gore, who goes down at about the 26-yard line. So many things just don't seem to add up for this Jacksonville team. They are 8th in the league in giving up yards per game defensively and 7th passing, but it's the run game that presents a problem for them. And this is Ramsey on T.Y. Hilton.
Well, you can see the long arms of Ramsey. That was one of the things we talked to Blake Bortles about. Jalen Ramsey in practice, he said his arms are so long, even though you think a receiver is open, all of a sudden he'll come up and knock a ball down. He said last week in practice they thought they had 3 completions, and he intercepted all of them.
3rd and 1, and we get a flag before, and it looks like a false start.
Prior to the snap, false start number 83, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and 1, it'll be 3rd and 6.
When you see they were in a 3 tight end package, but now Swoop and Doyle coming off the field, the 2 extra tight ends, doing more of a spread look offensively.
That's the first penalty of the day against the Colts. Jacksonville has committed 6. Luck has to call a timeout. He's running out of time on the play clock. So Indianapolis uses its first timeout here in the second half. 9:01 to play in the first half.
Back here in London, we met a lot of players that this was their first time here. Not the case, though, for Colts quarterback Andrew Luck. He spent much of his childhood growing up between London and Germany, a lot to do with his father's career, which we will touch on. And he comes back here every summer. He's got a lot of family here. This summer, he visited the home he grew up in here in London, plus he coached an American football camp. He says he's got great memories, a lot of fondness, and he was happy to come back this weekend.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. All the wide-eyed Colts about being in London, Andrew isn't one of them. It's like a homecoming for him.
Yeah, he has very fond memories of his time here in London.
3rd and 6. Luck throwing over the middle, in and out of the hands of Philip Dorsett.
Well, that would have been a tough catch. It was low, so that's one you'd like to see your receivers make, so you can add that to another list, to the list of drop passes. Watch Dorsett, he undercuts Dwayne Allen, and that ball is low, but it hits him in both hands. Would have been difficult, but it's one you'd like to see him bring in.
So here is Vinatieri, who has a 53-yarder, and this one is from 50. On its way. And got it inside the upright. That's his 2nd of the day. 7-6 Jaguars. This is the NFL on CBS. Oops. 8:53 to play in the first half. Jacksonville's lead is down to 1. Number 4 is Adam Vinatieri, 43 years of age. Just hit his 33rd straight field goal, his 8th from 50 yards or more. Corey Grant will down that in the end zone. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. And let's take a look at our next-gen stats and talk a little bit about Blake Bortles and what he's good at and what he's best at.
Well, Greg, earlier in the game we talked about Bortles and his accuracy outside the pocket. This is going to show that show that accuracy on next in. Only 60%, 28th in the NFL inside the pocket. It's when he gets outside the pocket that his accuracy picks up. 71% outside the pocket for first in the National Football League.
On first down. From the 25-yard line, T.J. Yeldon in the backfield, but Bortles to throw. On the move. And spins forward to about the 29-yard line. DeQuell Jackson is waiting for him outside.
Well, and what they really need to do here, Greg, is to keep a drive going. The time of possession is completely lopsided in Indianapolis's favor. Coming into this drive, they only had a little over 5 minutes of offense that they've been on the field, Jacksonville. So need to get something going here. Not only from a point standpoint, but from a give their defense a rest.
This is Yeldon, and Yeldon with some running room up the middle and has a first down across the 35 to about the 37.5-yard line. You look at the possessions for Jacksonville, and yeah, we have not seen very much of the offense today.
Well, and if you look at even the touchdown, that was after the tip pass interception that they got down in Colts territory, so they didn't have to go very far. They've got the lead 7-6, but just from an offensive standpoint, haven't been able to get in any rhythm.
Bortles, all kinds of time. Now going to pull it down and run. Looking for the first down marker, slides down about a yard short of it, just across the 45-yard line.
You can see the Jacksonville sideline getting a little excited there because he did slide, yet took a hit. He works through 4 different progressions here. Just has no one open. See Antonio Morrison jumping on him late. That's what the sideline was fired up about.
21 rushing yards for Bortles, 14 yards passing. And looking for a yard from first down. This is Yeldon, and Yeldon reversing field, and he's going to lose yardage on the play. DeQuell Jackson with the big push in the middle.
That's not a good sign for Jacksonville.
It's Luke Jokel, the left guard, who is on the ground. They will look at him and we'll take a break. Okay. 6:40 to play in the first half. Luke Jokel was just helped off the field, walked off under his own power, and straight to the locker room. We'll advise you when we know more. Meanwhile, 3rd and 4 for Jacksonville, and Bortles to throw. Over the middle, got his man. Penalty marker is thrown. Allen Robinson with the catch, and he's going to be marked down. Well, let's check the flag.
Antonio Cromartie was the one in coverage.
Prior to the pass, holding number 32, defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is completed pass, first down.
31, Antonio Cromartie was guilty of the hold.
Indianapolis brought pressure that time, going to a man-to-man coverage. Able to pick up the first down.
So Jacksonville making some noise offensively now at the Indy 40-yard line, and Bortles to throw again. Stepping up, gonna run with it. Escapes a tackler, tripped up inside the 35. He's down at about the 32. And once again, DeQuell Jackson in the middle of the play. A reminder for you, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. Join JB and the guys back in New York for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. I know JB ain't a little angry we got up this early. Bortles, quick slant. And that's complete to about the 25-yard line to Robinson once again, and a flag is thrown in from the defensive secondary.
Looks like the penalty will be on DeQuell Jackson for the hit on Robinson. Player safety being a big emphasis in the National Football League. Bortles trying to give his 2 cents.
Do the officials ever listen to what you have to say?
No.
Well, they're giving this one a good long conversation.
Fans getting a little restless.
Me too. We'll take a look at the hit.
See Robinson come from the left there.
There are fouls by both teams. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52, defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, number 15, offense. Those fouls will all set, will replay, second down.
So DeQuell Jackson of the Colts and Allen Robinson of the Jaguars. You heard Walt Anderson. If Allen Robinson gets another foul like that, he's gone.
Well, the unsportsmanlike was when he jumped up and he spun the ball on the ground. There's not a rule against spinning the ball, but if you do it in front of the defender or toward a defender, that's what the call will ultimately be.
And there's also no need.
No need. And DeQuell Jackson got called. His was a helmet to helmet. You could see the crown of his helmet hitting the jaw of Allen Robinson.
2nd and 2. Bortles to the sideline. That is complete for first down and then some. Mercedes Lewis. And Lewis slow to get up inside the 20-yard line. Now the Jacksonville Jaguars are low on tight ends already. Julius Thomas did not suit up. You're looking at the north end of the Palace of Westminster in London as we rejoin you with 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Bortles to throw. Up the middle. Incomplete, close to being intercepted near the goal line. And Cromartie is going to walk off holding his right arm gingerly.
Cromartie coming in. Oh, you could see the knee. The knee hitting into that left forearm of Clayton Geathers. Actually, his right forearm. Marty going for the interception as his arm was making contact with the guy, and Geathers' knee hit him.
So it's 2nd and 10 now from the 20-yard line. Bortles with time, going for it all. End zone incomplete, and a flag is thrown on the far side of the field. Intended for Robinson. Allen, covered by Robinson. Patrick.
That looked pretty clear from way up here in the stands. There was a couple of contacts, one near the...
Pass interference, number 25, defense. First down at the spot of the foul. Correction, the foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
There was contact right near the goal line, and then there was an additional contact right at the... while they were in the end zone. Heading right into our lap here. You see that left arm extended from Patrick Robinson, reaching out and pulling back Allen Robinson.
So Chris Ivory is on. First and goal from the 1. And Jacksonville with a chance to extend its 1-point lead.
75, Mike 52. Mike 52.
Everybody is man-to-man across the board because the Colts have the other 8 defenders.
Bortles throwing for it, and Robinson had it and dropped it.
One with Cromartie out of the game. Geathers was one-on-one with Allen Robinson to the outside. This is one Robinson should have should have caught. You're just working to the outside like you're going to run a fade, and then it's a throw to that front pylon, a timing throw. Just not able to catch it.
Ivory, the fake to him. Bortles to the end zone for the touchdown. That's Blake Bortles' first rushing touchdown of the season.
Watch the defense collapse. Blake Bortles is just reading the defensive line, the outside pressure that the Colts are bringing. You see both come off the edge here. Bortles keeps it, runs to the outside. Easy touchdown for Jacksonville.
So here's Jason Myers for the extra point. It is good. And with 4:09 to play in the first half, Blake Bortles caps a 75-yard drive with a 1-yard touchdown run. It's 14-3. Team 6, Jacksonville. 14-6, Jacksonville leading the Colts. On Friday, the Jaguars hosted a Jag Tag event at Allianz Park here in London. Jag Tag, the simplified version of American touch football tailored to a UK audience. Over 30 secondary schools and 1,000 kids are playing this version of football as the Jaguars have employed a growth by participation strategy since the inception of the initiative in 2015. It's worth noting, Jacksonville is committed to playing a game here in London all the way through the 2020 season.
Well, you can see the reaction of the fans. I know as we went around town the last couple days, there's a lot of enthusiasm for American football.
This will sail through the end zone and come out to the 25-yard line, and we go down to Jamie.
Greg, thank you. Mercedes Lewis is having a lot of work done on his hip right now. He has stayed on the sideline, though, for Jacksonville. Secondly, Luke Jokel has been downgraded to doubtful with that knee injury. Now, Ryan Kelly for the Colts did come back out of the locker room. I haven't heard what his ailment was yet, but keep in mind, those are 3 rookies on the line. If he did have to come out again, it would be LaRaven Clark that would insert into that offensive line, another rookie.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. And things are getting a little thin on that offensive line for Chuck Pagano. This is Frank Gore. Changes direction. Look at all the room he has in the near side. Across the 40 and out of bounds at about the 42-yard line, thrown out by Myles Jack. Interesting to talk with Paul Posluszny yesterday, and he's been tutoring Myles Jack, and he says, and I know he was drafted to replace me.
Well, and he said that's the tough part about it. When you're a veteran player now in his 10th year, he understands when they make a draft pick like Myles Jack. And he said, ultimately, it ended up making me a better player. I was focused in on giving him the details of it, and he's having, as Coach Gus Bradley told us, he feels his best season here in Jacksonville, or to the start of his best season here in Jacksonville.
160!
Luck to the far side of the field, and that is complete and out of bounds. T.Y. Hilton on the receiving end. You know, you saw Frank Gore rip off that 17-yard run coming into this game. In his 2 London appearances, he had a total of 189 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He likes it over here. What's he already at? He's already at 52 yards rushing.
9 carries, 52 yards.
160!
Gore looking for the first down, and it appears he has it. At about the 47.5-yard line. It's first down for the Colts. 100-yard rushers are hard to come by for these Indianapolis Colts. Vic Ballard against Houston in Week 15 of the 2012 season.
It appeared it was going to come to an end a week ago, and Gore had 70 yards in the first half, but didn't quite crack 100.
Luck under pressure and goes down back at the 44. And that is Tyson Alualu.
Alu coming in for Audric, who's injured, wasn't able to play today. Once again, beating Costanzo. That's the second time he's been beat. Earlier in the game, it was
been an odd first half in a lot of ways. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the first half. We told you earlier Jacksonville had been in the lead in their first 3 games, a total of 12 minutes. Today it's been almost 21 and a half minutes. Luck flips it to the near side. Ferguson with blocking in front of it. And across midfield and near the 45-yard line of the Jacksonville Jaguars, brought down by Malik Jackson and Telvin Smith.
Indianapolis is trying to get a chunk of that yardage back to make this a more manageable third down.
It's third down and 9 yards.
You have to think if you're Indianapolis here, really about another 5 or 6 yards, pushing Adam Vinatieri's limits here on how far he can kick. So you need to pick up some of this.
Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Luck throwing it, far sideline, incomplete. Pass intended for T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton hasn't been thrown to a lot today.
Well, and Jalen Ramsey right there, you can see him, number 20. He falls off on that route, and he lets Chester Rogers go on the deep post. So after that throw was made, Andrew Luck grabbed his head and couldn't believe he made it, but it was more Ramsey just out there reading the throw.
Rashad Green is deep for the McAfee punt. He'll let it bounce and it rolls into the end zone for the touchback. So 1:06 remaining in the first half. Tomorrow on CBS, the Geniuses are back. Don't miss the 2-hour season premiere of the hit drama Scorpion tomorrow at 9/8 Central, only CBS.
Well, Greg, I talked about this at the kickoff, that Jacksonville, by kicking off, they had a chance to double dip, get some points at the end of the half, and then get the ball coming out in the second half. So this sets up perfectly for them with 1:06 to go, 2 timeouts. They can go and down, try and get themselves in field goal position heading into the half.
See what Bortles can do with 1:06. This is Yeldon, and Yeldon to about the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3.
And a lot of times as an offensive coordinator, first play coming out for 2 minutes, when you're down in that type of field position, you run a screen or you run a draw, see what kind of yardage you can chunk. Then you could call a pass, leave it in your quarterback's hands. You still have those 2 timeouts.
Bortles on the run and slides down at about the 35-yard line, and they'll call timeout. That is the 2nd timeout used by Jacksonville here in the first half. Just a reminder once again, coming up next, the Verizon Halftime Report. James Brown and the guys back in New York with the latest scores and highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. This Indianapolis defense has not exactly sparkled with 2 minutes remaining in the half.
Well, and that's what offensive coordinator Greg Olson there of Jacksonville is counting on, that team not continue to struggle in the final 2 minutes.
They've allowed 33 points in the final 2 minutes, and that's the most in the National Football League to date. So the Jaguars with 1 timeout remaining, and they have a first down at the 34. Bortles looks right, throws right, complete and out of bounds to Marquise Lee. 3rd-year wideout out of USC. It's his first catch of the day. And it stops the clock with 36 to play.
You see who pushed him out of bounds. Antonio Cromartie, who's back in the game after suffering that arm injury. Colts trying to bring pressure. Brought off the right slot. Bortles reading it and getting to the outside away from the roll safety.
On 2nd and short, throwing to the right side again, and this time he can't connect with Neil Sterling. And we get a flag.
Well, that's TJ Green on the far sideline. The Sterling doesn't come up with the catch, and Green, for some reason, gives him a late shove out of bounds, draws the flag.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 32, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Talk about giving the offense a major boost in crunch time.
Well, 32 seconds and 1 timeout left, and you have them still on their side of the 50-yard line. Now with this 15-yarder.
If I read Chuck Pagano's lips right, he said that was stupid.
He would be right.
Yeah.
Hey, go over here. You got 3 down over here. Mike's 57.
So Bortles and the Jaguars now from the Indianapolis 42.
5-0, yeah, sir. 380.
Pass to the outside, and looking for the sideline is Allen Robinson. 28 on the clock.
It's interesting. They continue to go to Robinson, who's in man-to-man coverage, press coverage with Cromartie on the far side of the field. Vontae Davis has been matched up with Marquise Lee, but he's in off coverage just looking back at Bortles. Bortles continues to go to Robinson. They have a good connection going so far.
So on 2nd and 6 to the sideline again, and there's a flag. Allen Robinson working on Cromartie.
Pass interference, number 31, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
Not much doubt about that one.
Well, not only did he wrap the right hand around his back and turn him, but then you saw the jersey extend with that left hand when he grabbed onto him. So
each team has 3 first downs by penalty in this first half. 24 seconds on the clock.
Still 1 timeout, so you can use the whole field. You don't have to get it out of bounds.
Bortles pulling it down and can't break free this time. He is down at about the 28, and they use their timeout to stop the clock.
Well, that's the one thing you can't do, because now you're wasting that timeout. Gives a little flinch of the shoulders there, trying to get a double move, but Zach Kerr with the pressure up the middle.
Well, what has gotten Jacksonville this far down the field has been the sideline passes. Now they have to go to the sideline.
Well, they were going to the sideline, but they were going to Robinson against Cromartie, and then on that last play, they switched Cromartie to the other side of the field where Vontae Davis is playing off coverage. They continued to try and go back to Cromartie's side, this time with Marcus Lee matched up over there. If you're Bortles, you give that little pump fake. If it doesn't win, you got to sail it out of bounds. You got to save that timeout. Now with only 17 seconds left and no timeout, you can throw it in the middle of the field, but you got to run up and try and spike it just to stop the clock. So you've either got to take a shot to the end zone or get it out of bounds. Otherwise, if it's in the middle, you're going to be pressed to get that thing stopped.
Bortles on the move, throwing, and that is complete for a first down to Allen Robinson.
We talked about Bortles' accuracy. Once he gets outside the pocket, he's first in the National Football League. Robinson just running an outline. How the Colts aren't protecting the sideline. You see Cromartie bite up on the flat, which is his responsibility. That's where he has to go. But now they have enough time, Jacksonville does. They either have to get it into the end zone, because you complete this inbounds, the clock will run out.
12 seconds on the clock. Not much of a rush, and he threw it away. And there's a flag down at the 5-yard line. And this is going to be against the Colts again. Penalty-wise, this game has turned ugly.
Prior to the pass, holding number 31, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, with 7 seconds, you still have enough time. You can run one more play if you're Jacksonville. You just have to understand, and you have to tell your quarterback, Blake Bortles, listen, don't run around a long time looking for it. You have to, if it's there, take it right away. If not, throw it away so you can get the 3 points or attempt the 3 points before going in at half.
Jacksonville, 3rd time in the red zone. Previous 2 times scored touchdowns. 7 seconds on the clock. Bortles going to roll this way this time and throw it to the sideline. It is caught at the 5 by Marquise Lee. And here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, I don't know what the extra 3 yards helps you there, but I think they tried the same route that they did to the far side of the field. They had the rollout with the underneath route and the route over the top. The difference is Vontae Davis was off in coverage and not going to allow the throw into the end zone to Robinson, just giving him that underneath throw.
So this will be a 23-yarder attempted by Jason Myers. He's 4 out of 6 in the field goal department this year and make it 5 out of 7. 23 yards as time expires. Jacksonville extends its lead 17-6 as they go in search of their first win of the year. It's the first time all season they have led at halftime. And Blake Bortles had looked pretty decent down the stretch of this first half. Let's go down to Jamie.
Coach, half a dozen penalties there. How were you able to find the end zone and overcome that kind of disruption in a game?
Well, you know, we're playing aggressive, and there's some foolish penalties in there, you're right. The defense are holding, some holdings on offense, but I like our aggressiveness. We just got to play smarter. I'm seeing in situational football making some good plays. Got to carry that in the second half.
The Colts have a pretty youthful offensive line right now. Are you happy with the pressure on Andrew Luck so far?
Well, we need to get pressure on him. He's a great quarterback, and we got to disrupt him somehow, whether through pressure or our 4-man rush.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Jamie, thank you. That is the end of the first half here in London with the score 17-6 in favor of the Jaguars. Back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back in Wembley Stadium in London. That's our halftime score. Jacksonville leading Indianapolis by a score of 17-6. Take a look at the first half highlight presented by DirecTV. The Jacksonville Jaguars have been able to shackle the Colts offense. Andrew Luck had his pass batted into the air and picked off by Yannick Ngakoue. And the Colts have been held to just 2 field goals in the first half. But Jacksonville, a team that desperately needs a win, coming into this game at 0-3, leads 17-6. Who gets the credit in the first half?
Well, I think you have to look at both sides of the ball. Holding Indianapolis to only 6 points, that's a win for the defense. They got that crucial turnover that set up one of the touchdowns for Jacksonville. And then you have to talk about the Jacksonville offense. They've had great balance. When you look at the number of yards rushing compared to passing, it's been pretty even throughout the game.
What did you think about the whole outlook of the game? How did everybody perform for you?
Well, I think it's the keys when you look at what Indianapolis limit the hits on Luck. That has not happened today. They've been able to get a lot of hits on Andrew Luck, not necessarily sacks, but hits on Luck, and then the pressure is on Bortles. Bortles done a good job of getting outside the pocket. He's got good rushing yardage there and better balance on offense. I just mentioned that, the balance between the run game and the pass game. And the young linebackers for Jacksonville, as I said, Indianapolis has been able to, they haven't put many points on the board, so the linebackers have done their job. We showed the play of the first half with the tip ball interception. Those were both linebackers, young linebackers that were involved in that.
Jacksonville gets the ball first here in the second half. And Corey Grant can have a chance to run this one back from the 1. And right up the middle. And across the 25 out to about the 28-yard line. We go down to Jamie.
Greg, thanks. Just talked to Chuck Pagano coming out of the locker room. Very frustrated, not only with the sacks of Andrew Luck, but the drops in that first half. He attributed it to focus. You have to watch that ball come into your hands. We must have walked and talked about that for at least a minute. You could tell he was very frustrated about that, losing opportunities. Also to note, Antonio Cromartie had a right shoulder injury in that first half. He did return to play, but it's a status that you have to keep an eye on.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Meanwhile, on the first play, T.J. Yeldon with running room and slips down short of the first down, and there's a penalty marker thrown on the play.
Yeah, it looked like from up here that he got had a face mask on that play, and there was no flag until the very end. Official from the far side of the field.
And the conference, here's Walt Anderson.
There is no foul on the play. It's second down.
Meanwhile, that Jamie Erdahl, she's got this big smile on her face, and just want her to know that all of our entire crew says congratulations. Hold up the hand, Jamie.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jamie.
My mic feels a little differently today, so very lucky, very happy to be here in London.
Jamie and her now fiance, Sam Buckman.
He is here.
Thing. Yes, he is. We know. Long pass downfield, incomplete, intended for Allen Robinson.
He would not be very happy if I got tackled on the sideline because of that play. So let's keep it clean, guys. Let's focus on the game.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
This is Allen Robinson, and Robinson came that close to making the grab. Vontae Davis covering. So it's Jacksonville with short yardage from their own 38. Bortles on the move, throws wide open, Marquise Lee, and Lee across midfield and out of bounds. So another good chunk of yardage for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are looking a little bit more like the team their fans expected coming out of the gates this year.
Well, it'll be 3rd and short here. He fakes to Ivory, and that gets the defense to flow. And with Lee coming behind the line of scrimmage, he gets lost by the defense. And once again, Bortles on the move, showing great accuracy. Just has to flip that out to the flat and let Lee do the rest.
13 yards and a first down.
Green 80. Green inside.
Ivory in the backfield. Ivory with the handoff. And Ivory dancing his way clear for about an 8-yard pickup to the 41-yard line. Patrick Robinson making the stop. Chris Ivory had a career-high 166 yards rushing when he was a member of the Jets against Miami last season.
Well, we keep talking about balance on offense for the Jaguars. Give credit to offensive coordinator Greg Olson. The way he's mixing things up, he's moving Bortles around in the pocket, getting him outside with rollouts and bootlegs. He's running the run game, both inside and out, just continuing to cause problems for the Colts defensively.
Bortles on the move again, hits his man again, and breaking free and almost to the 30-yard line is Rashad Green, second-year wide receiver from Florida State.
Another example of a hard play fake one direction, have Bortles roll out the other direction. You see him with the play fake to the left to Ivory, gets the defense flowing. Green outflanks the defense, and looked like Blake Bortles had his tongue hanging out there. You see him rolling out there?
Bortles lost the handle on that one. Looked like an incomplete forward pass. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, sometimes as a quarterback, you want to have a string on the football. That time he tried pulling it back. See his arm come forward, tries to stop. Ball just squirts out. Since his arm's moving forward, that is considered an incomplete pass.
Bortles so far today, 10 of 17 for 96 yards and a touchdown. Quick pass to the near side. This is Alan Burns.
When you're so accustomed, when you talk about these two quarterbacks and these two offenses, that you're going to have a lot of throwing yards, that everything's going to be up in the air, that you're talking two guys that'll be in the 300-yard range when the game ends. And right now, Jacksonville has showed great patience with their play calling and have great balance in terms of number of yards through the air and the rushing game.
3rd and 5 for Bortles. And across the middle, it is incomplete. In and out of the arms of the intended receiver, Robinson, covered by Vontae Davis. I guess what surprised me, Trent, both these teams arrived late this week. They both came in Friday morning. And there was a time, I know, the teams would come over as soon as possible to get acclimated to a new schedule, get the body clock in the right frame.
Well, Jacksonville has tried a few different things. They'd come early in the week, they came late. Well, last year, since they won the game, they kept the same schedule this year. And Indianapolis just talked to a number of different teams that have tried the same schedule.
Jason Myers from 46 yards out is perfect. So Jacksonville tacks on 3 more. 20-6 Jaguars. Back in Wembley, that is Colts owner Jim Irsay. Probably not the best frame of mind that he's been all season. His team down 20-6 on the scoreboard.
Well, the way you got to look at it is if you're the Colts, it's only a 2-possession game here. So even though things haven't been going your way today, the game is still within reach.
This is Jordan Tottenham just outside the end zone, running room up the middle and hit about the 20 and forward to about the 28-yard line. The NFL plays 60. The NFL's movement for a more active generation encourages fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes every day. Learn how you can join the NFL Play 60 movement at NFL.com/Play60. So Frank Gore is in the backfield, and now is about the time that you want to see Andrew Luck start something. This is Gore. And Gore has been solid on the ground.
Well, Indianapolis in the first half had less than 100 yards of total offense, even though Frank Gore was running the football well. Just that through the passing game, they haven't been able to have much success. Net passing yards in the first half, only 22 yards. Some of that due to the hits that Andrew Luck, the sacks that Andrew Luck was taking.
By the way, Luke Jokel, the left guard for the Jaguars, hurt his knee in the first half. He is now ruled out for the rest of the game. And Gore again, and this time Gore stacked up pretty good.
Close to getting that first down, just came up a yard short. They're marking it 2 yards now.
You know, another thing that I thought was really interesting when Andrew Luck, when we were talking with him, well, who calls the signals on the offensive line? And he said that Ryan Kelly, the rookie center, did with some help from Andrew. You got to think, well, does that draw from what Andrew does out there, and does it have an effect on him? Luck on the move, under pressure, spun down. Oh no, his knee did not hit the turf, and he completes it to Jack Doyle down the sideline. Doyle bumped out inside the 15 by Prince Amukamara.
That's an incredibly athletic play by Andrew Luck. Let's take a look. It's Paul Posluszny that appears to sack him. He throws him on the ground. It looks like that left knee does go down. Don't be surprised if the Jaguars don't challenge this. The Colts are trying to get a quick snap.
They have challenged it on the far side of the field. The challenge flag is down at the 14-yard line.
Colts did the right thing by running up to the ball and trying to get it snapped.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field that the quarterback was not down by contact.
Andrew Luck was yelling to the Colts bench as he came downfield following Jack Doyle. They'll take a look at it, and we'll be right back in a moment. When both teams retreat to where the ball was snapped previously, you kind of get an idea.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's left knee was down. He was in contact. It'll be 4th down at the 25-yard line. The game clock will start on my signal.
Another indication is that the Colts had the punter, Pat McAfee, out on the field already.
Well, I think part of the question was going to be, where was the knee, and when was it on top of the ground, or was it on top of Posluszny's leg? And it clearly was on the grass.
Quick thinking by Andrew Luck just didn't work.
Yes, didn't get the ball snapped in time. And
this is Rashad Green. Penalty marker is down already. And Green hit and knocked down as he approached the 30-yard line.
On the challenge, Jacksonville is not charged with a timeout. during the kick, holding number 29 receiving team. It will be a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
So the penalty is on Josh Johnson, a reserve cornerback.
I'll just tag my last comment about Andrew Luck. He snapped that ball as fast as he could. He got up there, and as soon as they readied the ball for play, he had the ball snapped. It's just the officials, by the time they get it set and get everything marked, that gave Jacksonville time to get that red flag thrown. Which ultimately it's the right call, and that's what you want.
So the line of scrimmage will be the 11-yard line. And that's where Bortles and company will put it in play. First down. Jacksonville with the ball at a 20-6 lead, 9:40 to play here in the third. Bortles lost the ball, and now it's bounced off of Marquise Lee, and they're going to want to make sure that that wasn't a lateral, that it was indeed a forward pass.
That play was just messed up from the beginning. He looks here, he goes to throw, that slips out of his hand, he gets another grip, he gets a hit, you get the drop. That's a comedy of errors. They're fortunate that it's just ruled an incomplete pass and they move on to the next play.
Second and 10. This is Yeldon. Yeldon running room left side, breaking free almost. Just as he crossed the 20-yard line, Mike Adams, the veteran safety, dragged him down and appeared to save a touchdown.
Yeldon's going to break this out to the left. 8 yards of carry for him. Just a quick little counter play there. Able to cut it back, big lane on the backside.
What a job of blocking on the left side of that offensive line. Here's Yeldon again. And Yeldon for about a yard to the 25. Let's take a look at next-gen stats.
Well, the next gen, we talked earlier in the game about Blake Bortles, his completion percentage in the pocket, his completion percentage out of the pocket here. It's pretty weighted when you look at what he's able to do. His rushing stats, 37 yards rushing, and his accuracy he's shown outside the pocket.
Bortles running out of time. Still looking for running room and doesn't find any. And then there's a late flag thrown in. Akeem Ayers in on the tackle. Let's see if there was an extra hit in there.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 92, defense, hitting a player on the ground. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's the rookie, Kurt Magid. Bortles down. Wow, a couple of late hits in there, but Magid was the first right there.
Well, he knew he was bad. When you go to get up off the pile and you're like waving towards the official like, no, don't throw it. Yeah, but as you said, Greg, he wasn't the only one to jump on that. They're going to protect, especially the quarterbacks. They're going to protect the quarterbacks when they're on the ground. They protect them all over the place with the way the new rules have gone in, and you understand why from a safety standpoint.
Amazes me how you aren't still playing.
With those rules, I would still be, right?
This is Ivory. And Ivory will be marked down at about the 41-yard line. Kendall Langford making the stop.
There's a little talking going on there at the end of the play.
Meanwhile, Jacksonville with 116 yards rushing today. They come in averaging 55 yards a game. 31st in the NFL. So they've doubled up on their average. Ivory has a first down and more across midfield and out to the 46-yard line. Let's get an update from the NFL today in New York. JB.
Greg Gumbel, just a few moments ago, it was confirmed that Jimmy Garoppolo will be inactive for the New England Patriots today. The starter will be Jacoby Brissett. Backing up the wide receiver, Julian Edelman, he'll be the backup quarterback. Of course, the Patriots hosting the Buffalo Bills. Back to Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Jamie Erdahl.
All right, JB, thank you. We saw Jimmy Garoppolo a couple of weeks ago, and he got hurt. And we asked Bill Belichick who his third quarterback was. He said, I don't want to talk about it. Jackson wraps up Ivory.
He had no interest in sharing who his third quarterback was.
Can you blame him?
No. A lot of coaches don't want to talk about it. Because it's usually, in this case, a wide receiver or a punter or running back or something like that.
Jimmy Garoppolo starting, and then will be in Cleveland next week when Tom Brady makes his return against the Browns. 2nd and 14. And hit and knocked to the deck is Bortles. That was Eric Walden, who racks up another sack.
Pressure the Colts are able to get coming into this game. Bortles has been sacked 9 times. He's found a number of different ways to escape the pocket. We just showed that in the next gen stat, his rushing yards. Some of that's coming off of pass plays. This time, Walden just coming off the edge and getting the sack.
Bortles has been sacked 3 times today. Andrew Luck has been sacked 4 times. And this is Bortles with time. And right on the button to Allen Robinson. Inside the 40-yard line, Robinson had just turned to look at the receiver, and the ball was there. However, short of a first down by about 3 yards.
Well, and that's the gray area here. You know, you punt it from inside your own 40 to go ahead and try a field goal, which would be a 57-yarder. It's that gray area where a lot of coaches make a decision. It looks like Jacksonville is going to go for it.
As Gus Bradley feels he's got a good thing going in his offense today. T.J. Yeldon in the backfield. Bortles throwing out to the side. This is Yeldon. Yeldon gets the first down. T.J. Yeldon did a really good job of first maneuvering to make the catch.
Yeah, I think the catch was more impressive than the hurdle. The fact that it was behind him. Blake Bortles looking out to his left, and the check down over the middle makes Yeldon spin all the way around.
And then he leapfrogged Rashad Melvin. So a first down for the Jaguars. And they'll give it to Chris Ivory, and Ivory makes his way to about the 31. El-American closer to the 30 now, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
They continue to show balance on offense with the run and the pass. It's helped them with a couple penalties from the Colts defensively.
Last 3 drives for Jacksonville have resulted in a touchdown and 2 field goals. Ivory going to lose some yardage here. C.O. Moore with the stop. So he lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and 6 now.
Well, Jacksonville getting up to the line in a hurry. They changed personnel group, so you can see the officials still standing there. The reason for that is you have to give the defense to match personnel changes from an offensive standpoint. You can't quick snap them.
Bortles throwing to the sideline, incomplete off the hands of Robinson. And Melvin was covering there. So now it's 4th and 6, and that will bring the field goal unit on.
So there's a lot of contact at the top of this route. With Cromartie in coverage, there was a few flags thrown that time. I'm sure Jacksonville thinks they could have thrown another one there on Melvin.
So here is Jason Myers, who has been good from 23 and good from 46. This one will be 49 yards. And that one is good. 2:51 to play in the third. It's Jacksonville, 23-6. Since the Jacksonville Jaguars led 7-6 in the first half, they have scored 16 straight points and now lead it 23-6 with 2:51 to play in the third. Quan Bray, Jordan Todd-Mundy. Line drive kick into and out of the end zone. And that means Andrew Luck and the Colts will start from their own 25 when we come back to Wembley Stadium in London. The NFL on CBS. London's landmark Tower Bridge, 122 years old, a Victorian structure closed to traffic until the end of the year for maintenance work. The Colts, the pitch to Gore. And Gore to about the 30. Andrew Luck has had himself a busy day.
Well, we talked about at the beginning, one of the keys to the game for Indianapolis was limit the number of hits on Andrew Luck. You'll see from this package, he's been sacked 4 times on the day as the Colts go to a hurry up.
That pass to the near side, Gore out of the backfield and across the 35 for a first down.
And I think this is a great decision by the Colts. Coach Pagano, Chizinski, the offensive coordinator, go to a hurry up. You need to get 3 scores. You haven't been able to do anything offensively all day. Been a struggle getting first downs. Trying to get some rhythm, get the ball moving.
This is Frank Gore again, and Gore hit from behind. That'll be about a 1-yard gain and no more. To the 37-yard line, Dante Fowler.
Great plus is never a bad thing to get the defense running a little bit. Get the big bodies up front that have been putting pressure on Andrew Luck. Get them moving sideline to sideline, up and down the field. Try and tire them out.
Luck. Wide open over the middle, and a diving catch made by Chester Rogers.
The best thing he could have done on this is not only he catches it with his hand, but he rolls over right at the end before he hits the ground. He rolls over so it doesn't give a chance for that ball to knock loose or hit the ground. He protects it with his body.
21-yard pickup, and the Colts now at the 43 of the Jaguars. This is Ferguson. Ferguson trying to get away from trouble and can't. Malik Jackson. He of the Super Bowl fumble recovery touchdown.
Well, and I'm okay with that play. Even that play right there. Now the Jacksonville 3 of their 4 defensive linemen had to run over to where the tackle happened outside the numbers. They all walk back with their hands on their hips. The Colts are ready to snap the ball, and they're just getting set. So this will continue to wear them out if they can have success here.
Luck goes to his outlet, but it was tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete.
Malik Jackson bringing pressure. Big free agent signing for Jacksonville. Coming over from Denver, working against that right side of the offensive line for the Colts, who, as we mentioned from the top, are dealing with all rookies on that right side. Center, right guard, and right tackle.
Colts come in averaging 371 yards a game, have a total of 120 with 44 seconds remaining here in the third. And 3rd and long. Penalty markers fly on this side of the field.
Going to get Dante Fowler.
Neutral zone infraction number 56. Defense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Dante Fowler, you'll see him jump right there, is the in his 2nd year out of Florida. He missed the entire rookie year for him. He tore a knee ligament back in May of his rookie year. He was drafted number 3 overall a year ago. So they're just getting him back.
Well, and that's a crucial penalty right there for Dante Fowler, because now the Colts inside the 40. This is definitely 4-down territory when you consider it's still a 3-possession game.
Luck over the middle as his man. That is complete to Dwayne Allen for a first down, it would appear.
Looks like Dwayne Allen was able to extend it for the first down and moving the chains. Although I said they were going 4-down territory before, that means Adam Vinatieri wasn't going to make a 57-yarder, although he did if he can.
Frank Gore. And he lost like about 3 or 4. Sheldon Day, a rookie D lineman, with the surge. And we come to the end of 3 with a score 23-6, Jacksonville over the Colts. We're back to London after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to Wembley Stadium in London. Start of the 4th quarter, 2nd and 14. Colts offense that has stalled all day trying to get something started. Luck throwing deep. Incomplete. Penalty flag inside the 5. Dwayne Allen covered by Jonathan Cyprien.
Well, that's just a matter of Cyprien not getting his head turned around as that ball was coming in. Dwayne Allen had him beat once Andrew Luck broke outside the pocket. Allen trying to come back for the ball. Cyprien just making contact before it got there.
If Andrew Luck had been able to put a little air under that, that's a touchdown.
Well, that's a tough throw when you're rolling out to your right and you're trying to throw it off one leg. It would have been about a 45, 50-yard throw. He's done it, but that is a difficult
throw. Pass interference, number 37, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
See the contact that comes in. Cyprien's left arm drapes across both arms of Dwayne Allen. The official from the middle of the field had the best view, and that's where the flag came in from.
Jacksonville with a big lead here despite 124 penalty yards. This is Gore. Gore looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Colts.
Gore able to cut back and find a lane. You can see the power he shows. He's hit about the 2-yard line. Still able to work his way across the goal line.
Frank Gore with his 2nd touchdown of the season. So now, Adam Vinatieri from 33 yards out for the extra point. Whistle before the snap. Well, this will be interesting.
You mentioned this crew likes to get together and talk a little bit. They've lived up to their billing.
Could get them cell phones for Christmas.
Right.
False start, number 1, the kicking team, making a quick and abrupt movement, causing a defensive reaction. 5-yard penalty, retry.
Pat McAfee. A different kind of guy.
Yes.
On the Indianapolis Colts team.
Yes, and his head coach confirmed that. Confirmed some of those stories. Very seldom do you see a holder get called for a penalty like that, but
and this one is still going to be good from Vinatieri. 14:48 to play in the 4th, and the Colts creep a little closer. Beat Georgia yesterday in the most exciting way possible.
Unbelievable Hail Mary right at the end. There were some exciting college games yesterday, but that was probably the most exciting one.
So Corey Grant is deep for the Jaguars. And he will get to return this one from the goal line. And tripped up at the 15, falls forward to about the 18-yard line. So let's see if the Colt defense takes the cue.
Well, and that's going to be the important thing here for Jacksonville offensively, is to try and kill that momentum. Use up some of this clock here in the 4th quarter. Take a look at the drive chart. The last 7 possessions for Jacksonville, scoring on the last 4. You see there, getting points on the board. See if those settling for field goals will come back and haunt them.
Bortles. Flip. Incomplete. Aurelius Bend in his 6th season out of Illinois.
Well, that's a play they ran earlier with Marquise Lee, and Lee was able to convert it. That was on a 3rd down play that Lee caught it. He worked up that sideline for a nice 10-15 yard gain. So Aurelius Bend was thinking the same thing. He saw when he came out in the flat, nobody was out there. Got the ball though.
2nd and 10. Yeldon. And maybe 2 on the play. Robert Mathis, Hassan Ridgway combining for the stop. How about the career Robert Mathis has had? 118 career sacks. 19 and a half of them back in the 2013 season.
I'm sure 1 or 2 of those were against me way back when, right?
3rd and 7. Bortles flips it out. That is complete. And that is Neil Sterling. And Sterling knocked out of bounds, but enough for the 1st down.
You'll see him lined up right here on the end of the line of scrimmage. He's just going to late release. He was looking to see if he was going to have to chip a defender with a quick block, but there was no one out there. It was just a delay release. You see that play was called ahead of time that was going to be a delay throw to him.
Pass to the far side of the field. And diving forward to the 35 is Lee. Lee has had a fairly busy day today. Caught 4 passes now for 28 yards.
Jacksonville has done a consistent job of switching things up between the run and the pass. You have to stop play here on the field.
See, that's Alan Hearns. And they may look at him for concussion symptoms because an official on the field saw something.
Well, there is a spotter that's up in the stands that can call down to the field if they don't notice it on the field.
Brian Walters has replaced him, number 81. Bortles still with it. Going to go deep down the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Robinson. And covered by Vontae Davis.
Not sure why that wasn't thrown as a penalty. Robinson trying to come back for the ball, and Vontae Davis runs into him. I'd have to see the replay to see if Davis gets his head turned around. That could be the reason for not calling it.
That is Rashawn Melvin, who comes up limping, and he's walked off the field at about the 45.
Looks like Alan Hearns is already back on the field after getting checked out on the sideline.
Both these teams had their share of concussion injuries the first few weeks of the season. 10-point game. Jacksonville with the ball and the lead. Just under 13 minutes to play. 3rd and 7. Bortles throwing, underthrowing his intended receiver, Brian Walters. And covered by Patrick Robinson.
Bortles had some pressure up the field, but he's able to slide up in the pocket. That's a throw he's going to kick himself for not being able to complete. Looked like he had a good passing lane to get it to the outside, just not on time.
Quan Bray back at the 15-yard line. inside the 10. Back to the 20. And forward to the 21. Peyton Thompson making the tackle. We have 12:37 to play in the fourth. 10-point lead for the Jaguars. Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the team they're going to be seeing most of here in London. It is their fourth trip to London. The first three, they lost the first two and then won last year, coming back to beat Buffalo. And as we mentioned earlier, they're going to play a home game here through 2020. There is Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Luck going to give it to Josh Ferguson. Ferguson dragged down behind the 20-yard line, courtesy of Telvin Smith. And we have a flag on the play, or do we?
Well, and I think if you're Indianapolis, you stay in this hurry up. You had success with it last drive, went down, got a touchdown. Looks like they're going to stick with it.
Luck stepping up on the move and throws it out. Ferguson pitches a couple of tackles before he's brought down at the 27. You know, you talked about Andrew Luck and playing smarter, and it was a real problem for the Colts because he was pretty reckless with his body his first few years in the league.
Well, he was throwing himself around, not just the hits he was taking in the pocket, but when he would get outside and run, he was always challenging or going up against the linebackers and defensive backs and was trying to run them over. He's a big enough guy, can do that, but just the wear and tear it takes on your body. And here's a crucial 3rd and 5 for the Colts.
Luck got his man up close to the 45-yard line. That is T.Y. Hilton. And that'll be a first down at the 42-yard line. 15-yard pickup.
Well, I don't know if Yannick Ngakoue is the guy you want covering T.Y. Hilton down the field, but that's how the matchup was set.
Luck going to slide down close to midfield.
They continue their hurry up here. Jacksonville needs to try and do something to knock them out of rhythm.
How do you do that?
Well, you can try bringing pressure. You can try bumping at the line of scrimmage and rotating safeties.
The flip to Frank Gore. Gore getting a block, getting another block, and inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Not only has Andrew Luck gotten into a rhythm in this offense, but Rob Chudzinski as an offensive coordinator, sometime you can get into a rhythm, and this has changed the way he's calling plays and getting things delivered to Brian Schottenheimer, quarterback coach down on the field that calls the plays into Andrew Luck.
Luck going to go deep. Far side of the field, incomplete. Hilton, the intended receiver. The other thing I wonder too, Trent, is do you have to compensate sometimes for an inexperienced offensive line or one side of it?
Oh, you definitely have to. Yeah, you have to. You have to protect them. You start out to see how the game's going to go from a rhythm standpoint. If you're a play caller, find out if you're going to be able to run effectively or pass protect effectively, or do you need to leave a tight end in, or do you need to have a back chip the defensive end on the way out? There's certain things you feel along the way, but once you know those guys are secure, then it opens things up a little bit better.
On 2nd and 10. Going to go long on this side of the field. Diving, incomplete. Quan Bray drew the penalty flag. Devon House, number 31, was covering.
Well, the only thing here, I think, is
pass interference, number 41, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
I'm pretty sure that's number 31, Devon House.
Yeah, they just got the number wrong there. I'm not so sure. Oh, you can see him grabbing his arm there. There he has the hand hooked around Bray's right arm.
That's 148 penalty yards against Jacksonville today. Brought to a stop at about the 12-yard line. Gore has been a workhorse today.
Well, and Greg, what makes that penalty such a big penalty is now you put yourself in definite field goal range. Colts have to be careful here to protect the football. You don't want to take too many chances. Obviously, you want the touchdown, but if it's not there, you can settle for the 3 and make this a one-possession game.
With Robert Turbin in the backfield. Luck on 2nd and 8. Pulls it down, going to tuck it and run. And diving to within about a yard of a first down at the 10. So it'll be 3rd and 1. Clock continues to move as we come up on 9 minutes remaining here in regulation.
You see Andrew Luck looking out to his left, comes back to his right, doesn't see anybody, and it goes back to that game management thing you and I were just talking about, Greg, as they hurry up the snap here.
It was Turbin, and Turbin has the first down.
The game management thing I was talking to you about, Greg, is just understanding when to take those chances. That wasn't the situation to take the chance. If it's the end of the game and you have to force it in there, go ahead. Andrew Luck understands that. He was able to take off and run and get close enough to the first down to where they could run it on 3rd and short.
Doesn't feel like the Jaguars are ready for this hurry-up.
It's really thrown them off their rhythm defensively, and definitely tired out the guys out front.
Luck with a shuttle pass to Turbin, and that's not going to get too much.
Yeah, that was red all the way.
Roy Miller, Paul Leslie making the stop. We duck under 8 minutes to play in the 4th.
A lot of times you work that shuffle pass on the inside if you got teams that are speed and flying up the field, bringing a lot of pressure. As tired as Jacksonville is right now, they were in great position to stop that play.
Luck to throw for it. Looking, got hit as he threw, and he completed it to Hilton on the far side. Luck unloaded it as he threw.
And if he had a little bit more time, Philip Dorsett worked his way open in the middle. Roy Miller with the pressure. And Galway was the one that finished it off and ultimately knocked the helmet off.
3rd and goal. Luck with Josh Ferguson alongside. Luck holding, now moving and throwing. End zone, touchdown, Hilton. So the Colts creep a little bit closer.
Just the stutter move by T.Y. Hilton. He starts off on the left for Andrew Luck, and he just goes to sit down over the middle. Andrew Luck, as he scrambles out to the right, T.Y. Hilton recognizes that and flows with his quarterback, getting in an open window to get the touchdown.
2 red zone trips, 2 touchdowns for the Colts offense. Vinatieri to make it a 3-point game. And it is good. 7:06 to play in the 4th. Jacksonville's big lead is now down to 3. Along with our producer Ken Mack, our director Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl back in Wembley. And Rashad Green will not return this one out of the end zone. The Jaguars will start at their own 25-yard line, and we will pause and return. 7:06 to play in the 4th, 3-point game. 7:06 to play in the 4th. Bortles throwing far side of the field. That's complete to Yeldon out of the backfield, and Yeldon out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. JB and Boomer standing by with an NFL Today update from New York. Guys.
Buffalo at New England pre-game, Boomer.
That's right, pre-game fireworks, JB, as you can see right there. That's Robert Plant, number 26 for the Buffalo Bills. He's trying to take on Malcolm Mitchell. And of course, the rookie quarterback, Jacoby Brissett. You think these two teams like each other? I don't think so, JB. Intensity is going to be pretty high in Foxborough.
I'm glad Greg Dumble and Trent Green have a better relationship.
Slightly. Of course, nobody liked Boomer. He had trouble with everybody. That short one is complete to Yeldon, and Yeldon looking for another first down, and he's got it. Bortles came up limping.
Yeah, slow to get up after a big hit. Trying to set up this screen. You set your feet and look to the right. I think it was the second player, actually, that ends up flopping on his legs there. D'Qwell Jackson was the one that dove over the top of the pile.
380.
From the 44. This is Chris Ivory. Ivory for a couple. You know, I was just joking about nobody liking Boomer, right?
Yeah, I didn't defend it, or I didn't angle it one way or another.
Yes,
right?
I noticed. It's called standing clear of the fray. 5.5 to play. You mentioned during the break that Blake Bortles had to come out and answer, and he's done that so far.
Yeah, you have to have some set a tone here. You know, right now Indianapolis is in a nice rhythm offensively, and the Jacksonville defense is struggling. So you need to come down and answer with some points of your own.
Bortles to the near side. That is complete. Allen Hearn, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
There's an answer, Greg. For all the young quarterbacks out there that think you have to fire the ball down the field 40, 50, 60 yards, sometimes it's take what the defense gives you. This time it's just a flat throw. You miss the tackle, you get your teammates down, getting blocks for you down the field, then you get a quick 6.
42 yards. Hearns with his first touchdown catch of the season. Myers for the extra point. And it is perfect. 5:03 to play here in the fourth. And Jacksonville makes it a 10-point lead. Jaguars lead it 30-20. Back to Wembley after this. That is Europe's tallest Ferris wheel. Giant Ferris wheel on the south bank of the River Thames in London. 4 plays, 75 yards. Allen Hearns with the 42-yard touchdown catch, his first touchdown of the season. And Quan Bray will let this one fly through the end zone for the touchback. So they'll start at the 25-yard line. And remind you, week 4 of the NFL season continues later today on CBS and Fox. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The Jacksonville Jaguars have 30 points on the board today. They came in scoring an average of 18 a game. Andrew Luck stepping up, got rid of it, incomplete. He wanted Josh Ferguson out of the backfield. 2nd and 10. A little bit of an urgency about the Colts now.
Well, I would think they would stay with the hurry up. I know that was an incomplete pass, and the clock has stopped. They had a nice rhythm going the last 2 series, getting touchdowns, but this time huddling up. They do have all 3 timeouts left, as we're just under 5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
Play clock already down to 10. Not much of a rush. Luck pulls it down and now flips it to Ferguson outside. And Ferguson brought down just short of the 30-yard line. Prince Amukamara making the stop. Amukamara did not play the first 2 weeks of this season with a hamstring.
All right, they started to huddle up again, Greg, and then Andrew Luck told him to spread out and go ahead and go. They called the play to the line.
4.5 to play. Luck. And that's enough for a first down just across the 35-yard line to Jack Doyle. Andrew Luck had a pretty good thing going with his tight end and friend from Stanford, Cody Fleener. And Fleener took off for New Orleans.
And Doyle has kind of filled that role. Last week had 6 catches for 65 yards.
The flip to this side is to Ferguson once again, and Ferguson to the 40.
Well, based on what we've seen the last couple plays here, Jacksonville is content dropping back into coverage, letting them have the underneath throws, and then reacting, coming up and making the tackle. All that does is to continue to make that clock work.
So on 2nd and 6, and Luck is going to go down at the 35.
That's a coverage sack there. As I mentioned, they're dropping 7 back into coverage. The Colts only, it appeared they only had 2 wideouts, a tight end, and 1 back in the route. Nowhere for Andrew Luck to go with the ball, and ultimately ended in a sack.
That's the 5th sack of the day of Andrew Luck. 3rd and 10 now. And Luck going to go for it all, and wide open down the field. It is complete for the touchdown. Philip Dorsett.
Earlier in the game, Jalen Ramsey was cheating. He's going to be to the outside. As he drops back, you watch. His eyes are going to be looking back in at Andrew Luck. What happens is he falls off on this corner route, and he lets the post go. He's trying to fall off. He nearly got the interception in the first half on the play. The Colts came back to it at the right time. They caught Ramsey looking back at the quarterback once again. This time, the Colts took advantage of it. Long touchdown to Dorsett.
Vinatieri once again makes it a 3-point game with 3:03 to play in the 4th. Andrew Luck.
A little fired up, and he's right to be. That quick score is the best thing that could have happened to him, because now you have the time. You have that time back instead of having to use up 3-4 minutes to go down and maybe get a touchdown. That's what Jacksonville was trying to get him to do. They were playing in soft coverage, keeping everything in front. That time they went back to that play from the first half. They were hoping that Ramsey was going to do the same thing that he did. Sure enough, he got caught back looking at the quarterback. Luck was able to take advantage, get it over the top.
His dad, Oliver, is here today.
Yeah, Andrew was able to share with us in meetings some of his fond memories from growing up over here, not only in London, but in Germany, when his dad was one of the heads of, or was the head of World League NFL Europe. And he was excited to be here. He said he comes back here quite a bit in the offseason, but this is his first time playing back.
Yeah, this is nothing new for him.
There's a Frankfurt Galaxy sign and a jersey right there.
Corey Grant is deep. Once again, the Colts are within 3, and now it'll be on the defense. Short kick, just inside the 10. 15, and out to about the 18-yard line. So now, what does Blake Bortles do? What does Jacksonville do on offense? Greg Olson would love to be able to run time off the clock.
Well, there's 2 trains of thought here. You want to make the Colts use up their timeouts, but you also want to make sure they don't get the ball back. So this is one of the important things. You talk about the 2-minute offense. There's also the 4-minute offense where you're trying to drain the clock and not let the other team get the ball back. So if you're going to make throws, you want to make sure the receivers stay in bounds and they're short, accurate throws. You ultimately want to make the Colts use timeouts.
Bortles flips it complete to Aurelius Ben.
Well, and that was terrible. I mean, you get 2 yards, maybe a yard, and you run out of bounds. So that was, not only did you not force them to call a timeout, but you only got a 1-yard gain out of it. So
there has been a lot of disappointment in this young season for Jacksonville. They feel they should have beaten Green Bay week 1 and should have beaten Baltimore week 3. The handoff is to Yeldon. And we get a timeout.
Here's the fourth quarter, all the scoring that we've seen. Indianapolis, of course, trying to make a comeback, going to a no huddle. They get 2 touchdowns. Hearns with the long touchdown on the short throw, and then ultimately Luck over the top to Dorsett after catching Ramsey peeking in the backfield. 4 touchdowns here in the fourth quarter. So here's the crucial mistake. I go back to that play, the first down play, got 1 yard and went out of bounds. So now the Colts can use a timeout, and then they've got the 2-minute warning. So you're going to have 1 timeout and all of 2 minutes if they are able to keep Jacksonville from getting a first down.
3rd and 7. This is huge for the Jaguars. Bortles had it knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That's Kendall Langford.
Oh, and that's worst case scenario right there for Jacksonville. I know Jacksonville Jaguar fans are sitting there saying we've seen this before this year. They've had some tough losses. You look at the early season loss to Green Bay in the opener and the tough one to Baltimore a week ago.
Line Bray is deep.
Well, and Indianapolis now is going to have quite a bit of time with the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts.
Booming kick by Norton. It bounces and rolling into the end zone for the touchback.
Well, Greg, you have to remember, Adam Vinatieri, you only need a field goal to send this thing to overtime, but plenty of time to go down and try and get a score.
I want to remind you, tonight on CBS, it's the powerful season premiere of Madam Secretary. Téa Leoni stars in the hit drama tonight after NCIS Los Angeles, only CBS. So now it's interesting to see what the Colt offense will look like in this final 2.5.
I would still stay with the no huddle. Look at the success they've had with it. I don't necessarily think you have to go to 2-minute mode just because you have the timeouts and the 2-minute warning. You can go to up-tempo.
Luck threw a last-minute touchdown pass last week to beat the Chargers. The flip to Ferguson. And Ferguson dragged down just short of the 20-yard line by Malik Jackson.
Well, I think they need to hurry up more than what they're doing right now. Everybody's walking back to the line of scrimmage like they've got plenty of time. A little bit more sense of urgency.
Luck over the middle, and he's got his man across the 40-yard line, Chester Rogers.
See, now I think they should be running up there and all right, 2 minutes.
2 minutes to play. Holding a lead late has not been a strong point of the Jacksonville Jaguars since 2013. 23 times they've lost the lead and lost the game. At one time, they had a 17-point lead here this afternoon. It's now 3. Last 3 drives, the Colts have scored touchdowns. Luck. On the move, throws, a little bit too low for Ferguson to handle. 2nd and 10, 1:54 on the clock.
Well, Malik Jackson putting pressure on Andrew Luck, hitting him as he was throwing there. With the timeouts they still have in their pocket, they can utilize the whole field. Yes, you want to go down and get a touchdown and win this game, but you also have to remember you have the best kicker in the game right now. 33 consecutive field goals for Adam Vinatieri.
Jacksonville has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. The Colts have 2. Luck going to throw it deep. Sideline, incomplete. Dorsett, the intended receiver. 3rd and 10. 86,700 on hand here in Wembley Stadium today.
3rd and 10 goes without saying. It's 4-down territory here, so you don't have to get the entire chunk.
Third and 10. Luck will drop over the middle, and that is complete. And running out of bounds is T.Y. Hilton. And that is about a yard short of a first down. So 4th and 1.
Looks like it's going to be just short. So now if you're the Colts, you rely on one of the best backs in NFL history and Frank Gore to get that tough yard. Got to remember 3 of your 5 offensive linemen are rookies. Or do you spread them out?
Well, Frank Gore is on the sideline. Josh Ferguson is in the backfield on 4th down. Luck throws it incomplete at the 40-yard line. Intended for Dwayne Allen, and Luck had a receiver just off to his left on the near sideline. And look at that Jacksonville sideline.
Well, and I think that's probably the thing going through some people's minds right now is why isn't Frank Gore in the game to try and get that tough yard? Instead, they go with the pass. Andrew Luck steps up in the pocket. Looks like he has Dwayne Allen for the first down. Josh Johnson able to knock it away at the last second.
So Jacksonville takes over on downs at their own 49-yard line. And they're beginning to feel it on the Jaguars sideline.
Well, and I think if Allen hadn't appeared to be so wide open, Andrew Luck maybe could have even tucked it and ran for the first down. But as he stepped up and started sliding, it looked like it just flashed in front of him. There was Allen right in his window. Now with 2 timeouts.
Tyson Alualu is in as a blocking back in the backfield. And Yeldon will follow him nowhere. Probably lost a yard back to the 48. Zach Kerr makes the stop. And a timeout on the field. Here's the play.
You're going to see Luck as he steps up in the pocket. It appears how wide open Allen is. You can see how upset Andrew Luck is. You step up in the pocket, you see that flash right in front of your face. Even though he probably, it appears that he could have took off and ran and got the first down, but when you have him that wide open, Josh Johnson just not giving up on the play, not quitting on the play. He made a tremendous,
in a hurry, didn't he?
Tremendous play.
$131
to play.
No. Mike 57. Mike 57. Green 80. Green is up.
Yeldon lose even more yardage. Just went back to the 46-yard line. And the Colts use their 3rd and final timeout.
So let's say the next play takes even 5 seconds or 7 seconds, just to make it easier math for me. Let's say it takes even 7 seconds. Indianapolis is going to have about 40 seconds, maybe just under 40 seconds, depending on what happens on the punt return. So let's give it 35 seconds to try and get down and get into position, but they won't have any timeouts left.
I'll go you one better. Do the Jaguars throw it here, or do they run it?
I think you got to run it and use up the clock. Although I like the way you think. I like that aggressiveness, Greg. You see how I hesitated?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeldon. And he'll get it back to about the original line of scrimmage. And it'll be 4th down. The clock continues to move.
Oh, they did that perfectly for me. They went 7 seconds on the play. So, you think I worked that out with you? Now, Jacksonville does have some timeouts, so they could wait and take a timeout, or they could even take the penalty and move it back 5. It's not based on where the ball is. It's not going to make that big of a difference if you're trying to pin them down in there.
There is no one back for the Colts, so they're coming after the punter here.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because now the ball can bounce around down there, and you're going to have they take a delay of game.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
You see what I'm saying, Greg, though?
Yep.
If you don't have anybody back there, now the ball can literally bounce for 10, 12 seconds until it comes to rest. They're not going to blow the play dead. So
what Nortman doesn't want to do is put it into the end zone in a hurry.
Right.
On the Colts, got it away. It's going to come down between the 15 and the 20, and there's your rolling around and bouncing around. And it comes to rest with 26 seconds on the clock.
That ball hit right around 33, 32 seconds, so about another 6 or 7 seconds went off the clock. So we go 26 seconds, no timeouts.
Adam Vinatieri, author of 33 straight field goals. And 8 in a row from 50 or more yards.
Got to get some big chunks here, though, and you got to stop the clock. If you're going to get a big chunk over the middle of the field, you got to do it on this play, because you can clock the ball after that.
Luck hit as he released it, got it to Josh Ferguson, and Ferguson out of bounds at the 20. Not a big gain, 2 yards.
That's not going to do it.
2nd and 8 with 19 seconds on the clock.
Well, Jacksonville relying on their front 4 to just put some pressure on, keep everything in front of them.
Luck needs 43 yards to get into Adam Vinatieri's field goal range. Stepping up and tripped up and goes down at the 15-yard line. Clock continues to move. Senderick Marks made the tackle. And Andrew Luck spikes the ball with 2 seconds remaining.
Well, what happens with that is you have all the guys down the field have to sprint all the way back. You see Luck having to step up in the pocket. Senderick Marks getting blocked, but as Luck moves around, he's able to slide off.
So the last play of this game, one way or another. Unless, of course, some weird circumstance gives us another. Luck. Over the middle. And a handoff. And flip backwards. And the loose ball is picked up and lateral. And that'll do it. The Jacksonville Jaguars, in their home away from home, Wembley Stadium, notched their first victory of this season.
Both teams were kind of dragging along there for 3 quarters, and all of a sudden the 4th quarter came, and it was a battle of 2 young quarterbacks.
Bortles, 19 of 33, 2 touchdowns on the day with no interception. 30-27, Jaguars. The final up next. More football. We'll get most of you out to your kickoffs at 1 o'clock for Trent and Jamie. Greg Gumbel saying so long from London. You have been watching the NFL on CBS.